Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? We're going over Jaah's defense. This is the second time around. We tried to do it on Tuesday and I screwed it up. I was pretty upset about that one. But we're getting to it and I double checked it. We should have the right teams in it here. That's how it rolls with me sometimes. We grade on 5 different criteria: who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Remember, if you want to skip ahead to certain teams, just check out the description down there, and then you can slide it till you see the team in the window up here. I don't use timestamps. That's too much work. And besides, who's going to skip this? You guys love watching me, right? Anyway, when you're down there looking to skip past some of this stuff, be sure to hit that like button for me. It really helps me out. Team number 1. This is the OG Sinister Six without Doc Ock. This is the way I like to see the team. There's a heavy investment in Vulture, and that's okay because just today we heard some rumors that maybe Vulture and some other people might be a partial counter to the YA team or something. I don't know. But you got big red stars in Vulture, so you invested a little heavier in him. Just remember, red stars don't make a bad tune good. They make a bad tune bigger. However, I like everything you're kind of doing here. I would like to see Raider on Vulture, but it's too late. Don't change that. Skirmisher, and then Skirmisher on Rhino. I like Rhino as a Raider, but don't change that. Then Skirmisher, and then Striker on Swarm. So you got 3 or 4 Skirmishers, and then Striker on Swarm. That's interesting. If you had gone Skirmisher across the board and had Mysterio in here as a striker, I'd totally understand what you're doing because Mysterio calls a Sinister Six member for an assist and you'd be getting double taps and clearing positive effects with Mysterio. But it's Swarm. Swarm, in my opinion, is one of the worst members of this team, especially without Doc Ock. He literally kills himself. Anyways, I think you could go with better ISOs, but don't change anything because the crunch is real and it's a waste. I'm going to give you a B for this team. It's not terrible. You know, Skirmisher's a powerful ISO. It's fine. At least you have one striker out there soaking it up. But I do like Swarm better as like a Raider. Okay, team number 2. We have the Hydra 1.0 Fortifier across the board. Great placement. I love this ISO setup. There are some native ISOs that give them some good little tricks to do. But I like doing Fortifier across the board because it capitalizes on the stubbornness of this team and requires you to come into it with something like a Surfer to strip charges, or a Black Bolt, or maybe bring up that Elsa Bloodstone so that she can kill them and they won't revive, something like that to really defeat this team. I like this team. I think more people should be using this team. I think that the investment into this team is less than the investment into the counters, and I just like it. I think it's a great one. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And so I'm going to give you an A for this team. You could balance out the power levels a little bit more, but screw it. It's good enough. All right, team number 3, Wave 1 Avengers with the wrong ISOs, the wrong placement. At least you're using the right people, though. All right. Okay, so it's supposed to go Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor, Hawkeye in that order. Thor needs to be a Raider. Hawkeye could be a Raider or a Striker. I like Black Widow as a Skirmisher because on her other team, she's called in for lots of assists. So I like her being a Skirmisher. But there's a Skirmisher Striker combo with Hawkeye and Black Widow, and you're missing out on it. If you don't want to be using Black Widow on this team, that I recommend Hawkeye as a Raider. He's got a little bit of crit built into his kit, and he's got some AoEs and stuff. So that's why the Raider thing is pretty good. You've only got 1 ISO point in him, so change it now. It's not going to cost you anything. Hulk as a Fortifier is almost acceptable because he's a little bit underdeveloped for this team. You really want your Hulk and your Captain America to be huge, and you actually want them to be healers, so they just become this stubborn pair that you time out on. So, and you've only got 1 ISO in them, so you can change those to healers, and it would be great. It would be great, I think. You went with Fortifier on both of them for some reason. I don't know why. I guess you just wanted to make them that much more stubborn because they're not as big as your Thor, I guess. I don't know. Also, Hulk's pretty good to invest in. If you're going to go nuts on this team, you want Hulk to be one of the biggest members so he has a chance at resisting those blinds, those stuns, and stuff like that. Alternatively, you can throw in characters like Heimdall in here that keeps Thor from being blinded and reduces some of the counters on this team. But I do like this 5-piece the best myself. I just like a better placement and I like better ISO. So I'm going to give you a B- for this. Number 4 is a Brother Marauder Hood thing going on here. I'm seeing this a lot, actually. I like the ISOs. The only thing I want to do is have you put a level 1 ISO Raider on Magneto, and then take Magneto from this side and put him over on the other side so that Strife is out on the edge. And then I could give you an A for the team, even though your power levels are wonky and everything. Yeah. Yeah, I can't advise you to invest anymore into Magneto or Mystique. I mean, they're just not good enough to warrant that investment. But you can put a level 1 Raider ISO on Magneto just for maybe getting an extra vulnerable out there on the field. Or go Striker on him if you want to, because you don't have any Strikers there, but you don't need it. I think the vulnerables with the Raider is probably the way to go. I'm going to give you an A- for this. It's just not, you didn't waste anything and you're doing something with it. Maybe try some better characters than Mystique and Magneto though. See if you got some bigger stuff that you can throw in there with your Sinister Strife kind of combo. All right, team number 5 is the Heroes for Hire. I would like to see Shang-Chi. Oh my goodness. See, I'm not allowed to mess up his name anymore and I still mess it up all the time for realsies. Yeah, get Shang-Chi to the outside. Don't put him in the middle. Make Luke Cage a fortifier, not a healer. He gets almost no value out of that heal ISO. I like Iron Fist as a skirmisher, but healer is okay. And then the rest of your ISOs are great. So let's get a placement swap and an ISO change on that one character. It is worth changing him to a fortifier. It will toughen this team up and might even change so you get some more DVs out of it. It really is worth it, because he dies and he revives with that much more barrier and he's that much harder to kill. So I'm going to give you a B for that team. I don't like the placement and I don't like that one ISO. All right, team number 6. We got an Inhumans comp with Hela and Loki. I don't like Hela on defense. She is a liability because of Greg and all those speed meta teams. I don't think this team is going to pop off fast enough to do anything, so it's not like it's a bait team or something. You know, if it was the Eternals in here that were sped up a little bit, you might draw in some people who weren't paying attention and you could destroy a speed meta team, but that's not the case. She's a total liability. She's not even playing off of, you know, Loki's not placing a taunt because it's not a 5-piece Asgardians, so she's not even going into him. Not that it would matter, you got the wrong ISO on her. She should be a Raider or at least a Striker on her 5-piece team. Skirmisher isn't really necessary. And then Loki has synergy with Mystic Controllers, which is Hela, but that's not, it's just, no. Get Loki out of here, get Hela out of here, put somebody else in here like Coulson, put somebody else in here like a Surfer if you want. You could put a lot of plug and play characters in here. You could just run a full Inhumans team if you want, you know? Hela's just ruining this team for me. You got the right ISOs on everybody else. I think Yo-Yo should be a level 5 skirmisher to make sure that she plants that offense down. So once you change who you're playing with, then add that ISO in there and that'll really help her out. And then, yeah, I'm gonna go C on this. I think Hela's just killing this team for you. So get her out of here for sure. You could keep Loki in here if you want, but he's not really adding any value to this team. Team number 7 is the Webb Warriors. Looks like you got a candidate for Dark Dimension there. That's good. I think she's fantastic too. You went Raiders on everybody except for OG Spider-Man as a skirmisher. I think that's totally acceptable. I think it's your choice whether you want him Raider or skirmisher. A lot of people like him as the skirmisher so that he's landing that stun. I don't think he needs it personally. I went Raider and I'm happy with it. But then again, I went healer on Scarlet Spider and I'm happy with it. So maybe you don't want to listen to me, but you come here for my opinions and that's what they are. Don't put healer on Scarlet Spider. I just did it for fun and I'm enjoying it. And then Striker on Miles. That's correct. I do like Striker on Miles. Placement on this team doesn't matter so much. You might think about moving your Ghost Spider into the center. I like, you know, trading places with OG Spider-Man, because then like OG or Ghost Spider and Scarlet Spider are the primary targets for when I go into this team. I like to get rid of those two first. And if you get rid of those two and they're on the wing position, then everybody else is gapped. And it makes it harder for those last 3. And a lot of times, this kind of comes down to a clutch finish because of the RNG factor of this team. So maybe do a placement swap is the only thing I could recommend, but you're not really doing anything wrong. I'm going to go ahead and give you the A. It's really up to you whether you want to swap places. Team number 8. Oh, look at this. We got, you put healer on Beast. I really think he should be a skirmisher. I've done both, and the value of him as a skirmisher, removing those positive effects and allowing the the double tap off a bishop. I think it's definitely worth it. Even at this ISO investment, it's unfortunate, but if you have trouble in raids, you might look at that and see if you can switch him to the skirmisher, and you're going to do better. However, the biggest thing that you're doing wrong is your placement. The easiest fix is to change places with Beast and Iceman. However, what you really should do is go Beast, Iceman, Bishop, Kitty Pryde, and then Jubilee. I can't believe I said all those names without stuttering. Try that placement is probably the #1 placement. And then I do like Beast as a skirmisher. I mean, I know he's got tons of healing in his kit, but he's so fast. You just don't need that healing. Like, they're either going to die or he's going to heal him back up on his own. He doesn't need the extra heals, but you do need to clear positive effects. You do need to clear positive effects when he's called in for his assist, and you do need Bishop to triple tap whenever Beast is called in for the assist off of the Bishop turn. So I think go skirmisher on Beast. I'm going to give you a B+ for this team. Not so much for the ISO, but for the placement change. You don't want anybody important next to Bishop. All right, team number 9. Wah, wah, wah. There's Fury on defense, like I hate. Get Fury out of here. He's a liability. He's great on offense. He sucks on defense. My Secret Avengers, which is not nearly this big, could probably beat your Secret Avengers simply because I can use Fury's special first, and your Fury's going to use his ult first, and I will control the team. So get him out of here for sure. He's also, you know, those minions, they're just liability for the speed metas. The Secret Avenger, the Axemen and the symbiotes and stuff can get in there on that. Not so much the symbiotes, because they usually get one of them ulted off the field by Kestrel. Now, you really want to make this team sick, change Kestrel to a Raider. That way when she does ult, there's a good chance she's going to delete somebody on a crit, which would be good. What the heck do you have Sharon Carter as a skirmisher for? You must be doing some high-end raids, my friend. Except I know you're not doing high-end raids. You jumped down to our alliance and we're doing Doom 2.0. So you don't need her as a skirmisher to land all those negative effects. You need her as a striker to come back in on the Captain Sam stuff. I'm not gonna dock you for that one because there's a good case to be made for having her as a skirmisher at the high end of raids. I'm not going to dock you for going striker on Kestrel because that is just a personal choice. Either one is very good. But I am going to dock you for putting Fury in here on this defense. Get rid of him, put in Zemo, put in Namor, put in anybody other than Fury, or anybody that doesn't summon, you know, would help you out a lot. You can throw in American Chavez. Look at that top 10 video to see how it's done. It's a great, fantastic defense. So yeah, I'm going to bring you down to a B for that one. It's just killing me, man. Okay, and number 10. Oh, here's your American Chavez. All right, so this is a good Eternals defense. You put in Thanos in there to give energy to Icarus so that he can ult a second time and keep this team going. And you put in Ebony Maw to give Thanos, I don't know, some immunity or something. I don't know why people put Ebony Maw in here. I think there's better choices than Ebony Maw in here. But whatever. Okay, the way you beat this team, if you want to 2-tap it, you go into it with one person. And that one person dies and doesn't give Icarus enough energy to do it again. Right? So his ult isn't ready. If you really want to go nuts, you send in one person who's big enough to survive the Icarus ult. And that way Cersei does her ult also. Still doesn't give Icarus enough energy to do it twice. Then the next team can go in and they're not ulting and they can survive openers and you can kind of pick and choose who you want. If you want to beat this team in a one-shot, it's either Doom plus Eternals, and these guys ult, put Doom under 50%, he goes into Time Platform, takes your Eternals for the ride and beats this team. Otherwise, you can go into it with an Infinity Watch who will survive the opener and just do damage enough to kill this team. The other thing is, you can go into it with an Infinity Watch, and if you're not going to win, you can take out that America Chavez so the next person can go into it, and then they won't have the speed up thing going on there, something like that. So there's lots of ways this team is beatable, but it is frustrating. You do have to think about it. It catches newbies who do not watch my stream and do not watch my YouTube channel. It catches them off guard. So you know, it's something to do. Again, check the top 10 video if you want some other ideas of what to do with Chavez and the Eternals. Lots of ideas in there, but there's nothing wrong with this. Although I don't like Ebony Maw as a healer. I hate him as a healer, actually. There's a case to be made for making him a healer, but the fact that he doesn't have any heal in his kit drives me bonkers, and I don't like it. I'm just going to give you an A- for this because there are, in my opinion, better things to do. I don't like Ebony Maw on this team. I don't think he adds anything. I don't get it. I don't get why people put him in there just to make Thanos better. Like, Thanos is just there to give energy to Icarus, so come up with something better. I don't know. It's still pretty good. A- for this team. It's fine. You don't need to change anything if you don't want to. And yeah, that's it for Jaah's defense. If you like this, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more videos. I'm putting out daily content. And yeah, be sure to catch me on Twitch. Thursdays and Tuesdays, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. We do this live. You can be a part of the conversation. And remember, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and others too. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.